Have you been putting off doing something because you're waiting for the perfect time? Have you been just giving yourself excuses that I'll do this when that? I've got news for you. Here is day 83 of my 90-day mental, emotional, spiritual well-being series. When we tell ourselves that we're waiting, I'll do this when, I'll do this someday, there's no such day as when, and there's no such day as someday. It's just a time, sometime in the future, okay? And when we don't define that day and time, when we don't nail it down, our subconscious mind doesn't know when to go for. So it's like saying, having goals like, I'd like more money. Well, what does more money mean? You can find a couple of pence on the ground, now you got more money. Or I want to be thinner. Well, thinner compared to what? So we have to be quite specific when we make our goals, but also when we think about taking some action around something. Because one of the greatest fears actually, or limiting beliefs that a lot of people have, and I've had it, I'm sure you've had it as well, is this limiting belief that you're not good enough, or you're not perfect, or you don't know enough. Okay, so that enough not being enough, and that is so detrimental to progress. Because if you think that you're not ready, right, if you think that it's not perfect, and you've spent so much time on the thing, okay, you spent so much time and energy and research, so when is it going to be ready? Just a tweak here and a tweak there. That kind of perfectionism is, you're never really going to be satisfied, because there's always another little improvement. There's always, you're seeing things from a different perspective, or in a different time, or from a different angle, and you might think, oh, I need to add this in, or I need to take this out. Imagine if you're doing a painting, a masterpiece, okay? So a masterpiece, when it's finished, is finished, right? But is the master always satisfied? Masterpieces take years, because they're good, they're great, they're amazing, they're better than what most people can do. But a perfectionist is always going to look for that something else that they can do to make it a little bit better before they think it's ready. And the truth is, a lot of brilliant artists only really became famous well after they died, so they couldn't even see the fruits of their accomplishments in their lifetime, because they had this real kind of perfectionist thing kind of going on. So if there's something that you've been wanting to put out there, if there's been something that you've wanted to do, or maybe you haven't even actually really wanted to do it, but you've just been held back in that story of, I'm not ready, it's not perfect, it's not the right time, and you're having all kinds of reasons and excuses. It's raining, it's cold, it's a Tuesday, I need to be a few pounds less weight than I am right now, I need to have XYZ bit more money in my account, I just need to have a few more chapters done, so the excuses are endless. The excuses are endless, and at the end of the day, like a piece of art, a lot of work is pretty subjective. So it's in the eye of the beholder, and some people are going to like what you do and some people aren't going to like what you do. It's just the nature of humans. There won't be anything which is just right for everybody. Everyone's going to have some kind of opinion or voice or thought around it. So why wait? This moment of perfection doesn't actually exist. So what you need to do is be motivated and inspired and take imperfect action. Take the action, because the growth is in the doing. The growth is in doing it anyway, when it's difficult, when you're scared, when you're not afraid. And if you're doing it in a safe environment, that's a really great place to practice. So for example, doing a Facebook Live, okay? You might not have ever done one before, or remember the first time you did it, or how long it took before you did one. So practice in a group, practice on your page, right? Before you go live on your page, or just go straight for it. and you'll be quite surprised actually at the reaction that you get. So it may not be as fearful or as scary as you originally thought, and you're doing it. So some people think, oh, I need to have the perfect hair, I need to have the perfect makeup, I need to have the perfect clothing, I need to have the perfect background, I need to have the perfect script, it needs to be a certain way. Well, when you put that much thought and energy and effort into all of those exterior things, what happens is that you lose your authenticity. You lose the message of what it is that you really want to say and the energy that you want to give. Because at the end of the day, we all gravitate towards people that we feel are like us, or understand us, or who've got some kind of knowledge or some kind of value that they're going to give. So if you're being quite formulaic and quite kind of boxed in, then people can pick up on that, right? And that kind of like too perfect look, because then you've kind of, if you've set yourself a certain look and a certain sound, then you have to you're going to feel that you've got to match up to that all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And having high standards and good standards, but it's just a question of having taken that action even when things aren't perfect, because it just makes it natural, it makes it human. As you know, if you've been watching my previous videos, so go back and watch the other 82 in this series, and I've got loads more. Okay, you'll notice that I've had planes flying over, or it's been raining, or there's been a car going by away in the distance. And while I could have gone into a studio and recorded these, this is all about imperfect action. I'm telling you this because this has been my journey, right? These whole 83 days of mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, it's all things that I've experienced or done or learnt about, or just find that there's value there to share. And there's no such thing as perfect. It's just about doing it anyway, adding value anyway, and just sharing. And the right people will see it, the right people will come to you. You have to, if you're selling something, you have got to do some kind of niche marketing. But whatever it is that you want to do, it's about, rather than just sitting and waiting, you can waste months, if not years, if not decades. And then the last thing you want is regret. Okay, so just take that action anyway, because every time you do it, you get a little bit more adept at it, you get a bit better at it. Okay, so if you're practicing for a marathon, you're not going to do a marathon straight away. You're going to kind of just maybe do a half an hour and you'll be knackered, or 1 hour, okay, or whatever it might be. You're taking like small baby steps, which you're just practicing and honing in, and you're learning along the way. So then you're going to learn, okay, these are the kind of shoes I need, or this is the kind of food I need to eat beforehand or not before, or whatever. You're going to find things, you're going to tweak them, but you won't know that if you're waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't happen. So this video, keeping nice and short now towards the end. So take imperfect action. What is the thing that you can do today? Because if you are just raw and authentic and share your message, remember there's a lot of people who would love to be in your shoes. There's a lot of people who would love to know what you know. And whilst we sometimes think that we're not good enough because we're looking at those who are ahead and who've had many more struggles actually, and many more iterations, many more sleepless nights, many more sacrifices, and we're not there yet, but we're just seeing their end result. We're going, oh, I'm not as good as them. Well, you're just on a different stage of the journey, and there'll be plenty of people who are further behind where you are, who want your information, who want to share, who you want to share your information with. So don't deny them that. Don't wait for things to be perfect. It doesn't exist. Take that imperfect action. Keep on taking imperfect action. We're human. We have our quirks, okay? We're not robots. There's nothing mechanical about us, okay? So just show your energy, show up, take the imperfect action. Everything is a lesson and a gift, okay? If you're afraid that people are going to laugh, or you're going to be humiliated, or you're going to fail, or it's this or that or the other, first of all, if you're focusing on that, you're more likely to attract it in. But it's for another day. but it's a different point of view and how you respond to that. So take the imperfect action, go ahead, you've got this. I'll talk to you in the next video.